Oh shit, here we go again.
Seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please?
The show starts
right here, right
This
now.
is a message to all the haters out there. If you don't like what I do, but you watch everything I'm doing, you're still a fan.
We breaking news again. Hog HQ Live, tell a Razorback friend. Hot Adam DP, the squad you can trust. On every platform, we never adjust. From the hills to the streams, we the Hog Dream Team. Dropping Razorback gems, y'all know what I mean. Heart with the insight, sharp as a tusk. Adam takes heavy, break the mic in the dust. DP in the cut, stat sharp as a blade. Talking hoops, talking football, every play gets made. Razorback Nation, call it Hog Vibration. On Facebook, YouTube, even Twitch sensation. Instagram scrolling, X marks the spot. When the pigs hit the field, we reporting the plot. Hog HQ Live, breaking news worldwide. Razorback pride, we'll never divide. From the past to the streams, every sport, every scene, we the Hogs, we supreme. Living out the dream. Hog HQ Live, breaking news worldwide. Razorback pride, we'll never divide. From the past to the streams, every sport, every scene, we the Hogs, we supreme. Living out the dream. DP crunching numbers that I'm setting the tone.
What's going on, everybody? This is your main man, Smooth Baron, and you're tuned in to Hog HQ. Woo! Pig Sue! Wee! Go Hogs!
Go Hogs indeed. Look, welcome back to another great episode of Hog HQ Live, brought to you by the Hog Talk Podcast, Transplant Texans. Salute, my guy. Nathan, thank you for checking in with us this evening. Look, you know the motto. As always, tell a friend, and we're back again with another great episode, ready to talk everything Razorbacks and all that jazz. We got a lot to talk about this week. Excited to talk about some things. In fact, before we get started, make sure I introduce the guys. This gentleman right here, this is Adam, and this right here is Mr. Hart. Apparently, it's hat week, and nobody told me. I didn't get the memo. Either way, we're going to still make it do what it do. Yeah, that's it. I had to get a cut. You know, Ryan, I'm glad you said something, Ryan. Say good evening, Ryan. You was on me last week. I had to get my beard together. He was talking about I need the Jets for men. Yeah, I'm in the game. Appreciate it, Ryan. Thanks for the motivation. But look, we're gonna go ahead and get into it, guys. We got a lot of information to get into. But before we get started this evening, we got to start off with Hogs baseball.
Sure about that?
All
Yeah,
right.
we are.
Yeah, we are.
All right. Well, this week we've had 4 games so far. First one was Tuesday. We played Oral Roberts. We won 10-2. TJ Pompey hit a solo home run. It was his first one as a Hog. Kahil Aloy had 4 RBIs in the game. Zach Stewart went 3 for 4 in the game, and Damian Ruiz, DP's favorite person,
Yep.
had 3 runs scored. I don't know why. Um, we used 7 pitchers, and they combined for 11 strikeouts in the game. And McIlvain got the win, which is made him 2-0 on the season. And then let's go to the Stetson series that started on Friday. Friday, we won 7-1. 6 of 9 batters got an RBI. Gabe Gackle threw 6 innings, had 6 Ks, gave up 5 hits, and 1 walk. Yesterday's game, we won 13-1. Rum ruled them, obviously. We had 13 hits. Mike Anu went 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs. Nolan Souza had 3 RBIs as well. But it was also the second game we haven't had a home run. Hunter Dietz was the starting pitcher. He threw his 6 innings. He had 12 Ks, gave up 4 hits and 1 earned run. And then, well, we got today's game. And Adam, you want to roll the clip?
You know, we only hit the ball hard maybe 5 times the whole game, and a couple of them were hits. I think Mike Anu hit the ball hard. Kojal hit the ball hard once. You know, Damian hit 2 singles. One of them was hit fairly hard. But other than that, wasn't a whole lot there.
Huh.
Yeah.
So sounds like we're not playing gorilla ball yet. But go ahead.
Not yet. It was a tough one. We lost 4-1. Let's see. We dropped to 12-4 on the season with that loss. Camden Kojals had the solo RBI today. Colin Fisher had a rough outing. It's his toughest outing of the year. He had been looking unstoppable in the first 3 starts, but this one he struggled. 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, and 4 strikeouts. We had 5 hits at all today, so that was the 5 hits he said was hit hard. Really, you could think.
Wow.
We struggled with sliders and sinkers, and that's kind of been a thing we've struggled with in the past, but it reared its ugly head today. And they had one of those pitchers that came in to close out the last half of the game, and he had that, I can't remember what you call it, the almost underhand type of delivery, and it just it had our batters all confused. I saw one where Souza kept swinging at pitches that were dang near hitting him, and just it was not a good look. But hopefully they can rebound tomorrow. So we've hit no home runs this series. We are missing Zach Stewart. He's out with a pulled or strained groin, whatever you want to call it. But you can also delight in LSU's lost 4 non-conference games, and right now they're losing 5-0 in the 7th inning. So there's a possibility they could lose 5 games non-conference. So we got a game tomorrow at noon to finish out the Stetson series, and then we open up the weekend with Mississippi State starting SEC play.
Gotcha. Thank you very much. A quick question. Being able to get runs but not get home runs, is that something that you feel like is going to be a sore going down the road, getting into conference play? Or you think it's something they can work through and get past?
Well, the first 2 games, I was kind of happy to see us getting singles and doubles and not having to rely on the home run, but not getting any also against somewhat inferior pitching is a little bit of a concern. You know, you'd like to see some people get some home runs. There's some that, you know, are struggling batting wise, and I don't know what they're going to do when it comes to conference play, because you're going to step up in your competition. And so you may see some rotations in the lineup where we have some guys that haven't been starting as much, or maybe some midweek may start starting on the weekend if the ones that are the regulars are not producing.
Gotcha. Was a question here.
Did he go by Cam last year, or has he always went by Camden?
He goes by, everybody calls him Cam, even Van Horn calls him Cam from time to time. But when they asked him what he prefers, he said his mama calls him Camden, and so if his mama calls him Camden, I'm gonna call him Camden.
And if you know the reference, then you know.
I'm with Transplanted Texan on this, though. Like, wake me up when conference gets here this week, which this coming weekend.
Gotcha.
It's going to be tough. I mean, especially opening up conference play against Mississippi State. I think they put like a game or two ago, they put up 26 runs on 20 hits. Again, I mean, granted, it was Lipscomb, I think, but at the same time, I mean, putting up 26 runs is crazy work. So we'll see what happens.
Gotcha. First game of the series, the wind was blowing in 500 miles per hour. Look, sometimes it's a luck of the draw.
Yeah.
I cannot forget about you real quick, Ty. Let me go back and get to it. I'm running to Walmart. Do I need some peeps? Or are you good? Look, I'm good. Now, just know I've already extended the olive branch to Adam this year to see if he's interested in trying peeps. It's a new year. It's a new thing. So he's still on the same thought process of
it's trash.
There you go. So
Yuck.
I can't make him do it. But either way, that's that. So thank you very much for all the conversation in regards to Razorback baseball. We can transition straight into Hog Hoops and the scores for the week.
Sooner or later.
Yeah.
You know, it's processing. There we go.
There you go. Hog Hoop scores. Of course, this is a Tuesday, Wednesday setup. Mississippi State and Florida. Florida is dominating 108-74. Alabama and Georgia. Georgia is sneaky. It depends on what night it is. It depends on how the defensive prowess is. But they beat Alabama 98-88. Texas and Arkansas, once again, Arkansas take care of business 105-85. Over Texas, it was outstanding just because it was Texas and we beat them and we don't like Texas. Tennessee and South Carolina, Tennessee 79-59. Vanderbilt, Ole Miss, and Vanderbilt and Ole Miss. It's a 3-point win. 3-point win over Ole Miss. Ole Miss, I don't know who their coach is, but they may have to find a new one soon.
Chris Beard.
Damn. And wasn't it the same dude that we hate that we didn't get?
Yeah. You know, everybody wanted him, and then Coach Calipari fell in our lap.
Yeah, they trolled us. Sometimes you just got to.
Who doesn't troll us? Just like at the Missouri game, Eli Drinkwitz and the football team coming out with the trophy like they do every year.
Right. Hopefully we can bring a stop to that. There you go. Missouri and OU. OU wins 80-64. Kentucky and Texas A&M. A&M wins 96-85. LSU and Auburn. Auburn takes the victory at home 88-74. And that wraps up Tuesday, Wednesday. We had some more scores. How about the gymnastics team set the attendance record over 15,000? That's very impressive. Very impressive. He'll bounce back. There you go.
Somebody
all right, going. There you go. Moving on to Saturday scores. So Florida and Kentucky. People thought this was going to really be a good game, but it wasn't. Yeah, Florida do what Florida does. They find different ways to get it done. Kentucky loses again. Oh, happy day. Auburn and Alabama rivalry. Alabama bounces back and wins at home 96-84. Arkansas, Missouri, hard-fought game. Great game on both sides. The ending was spectacular. And we'll dig into this game more, but it's a lot to break down in this particular game. Tennessee and Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt wins on the road 86-82. In-state rivalry, USC and Ole Miss. South Carolina takes them by 3 points. UGA and Mississippi State. See what I'm saying? UGA is one of them teams you just don't. You really don't want. You don't know. Mm-hmm. You never know what they're gonna bring. And if the young man is doing what he's doing in the paint, like he did against us with the blocks and the rebounds and taking up space, it's hard to defeat those guys. Texas A&M and LSU. A&M wins by 3 points. OU and Texas. Is that considered the Red River shootout still? Even though it's basketball or just a rivalry?
Yeah, it's still a rivalry. I don't know if they call it Red River or anything.
Guess what? It doesn't matter. Texas lost. Whoop-de-doo.
You want to know why it doesn't matter also? Because look at where they are in the standings.
Womp, womp. Womp, womp. Wow. Florida, Alabama, Arkansas, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Texas A&M, Georgia, Missouri, Kentucky, Texas, OU, Auburn, Mississippi State, South Carolina, Ole Miss, and LSU to close it out. Look, going into this tournament, as you guys seen, we are a 3 seed.
So we'll play Friday at probably close to 9 p.m.
So everybody got to stay up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got you.
Also,
I do want to
go through.
There you go.
Only
Go
player in
ahead.
the country that's averaging 22.2 and 6.4 assists per game, shooting 49.3% from the field.
He leads the conference in points and assists. The only other player to ever do that in history. Pistol Pete Maravich. Look, that's hella company to be alongside. Do want to get this? What's that? A loss by Kentucky under 20 wins for the season. Yeah. Down with Pope. Hope with Pope. Let me get this.
And I've got something on that. All right.
Yeah, I thought you did.
You do.
Yeah. I always keep it handy. It's what y'all wanted. Y'all wanted John Pelfrey 2.0.
There you go. Let me take that
And
out.
you got him. And then
There you
also, while we're talking basketball before we dive into games, shout out to Coach Richardson getting
There you go.
his flowers, getting his statue.
Let me also piggyback on that and say shout out to the administration or whoever's in charge. Hell, maybe it's John Tyson at this point. He may be running the program in totality. Either way it go, I'm excited that we have a living legend that can actually witness his works. We understand what's been happening on the floor and all that good stuff. At the same time, to him to have a statue, it's one of those things where I just feel like Arkansas is just missing when it comes to tradition. And I'm glad that this is happening right now.
Mhm.
And for the ones who believe what some have said in the past, maybe this breaks the curse. Just saying.
Hopefully.
Well,
Maybe
and it's
it
good
breaks the
too, like
curse.
you brought up, seeing him come out on the court, and he came out with his caretaker. It kind of makes you put a lot of things in perspective, because I still think of like Coach Richardson as the loud, forceful voice, and it's not that he's 84 years old; it's not there anymore. So it's kind of hits you in the feels a little bit. But at the same time, I'm glad that he'll be able to see this and not something that happens after the fact. Hunter Yurachek came out on Chuck and Bo on Friday, I guess, or Thursday, one or the other. And I mean, the only reason this is happening right now is because there's a donor that put up the funds for it. And, I applaud whoever's doing it. My only thing was, our athletic department boasts having a surplus every single year. And it took a donor to make this happen. And he said they've been discussing this for the past 2 to 3 years. Y'all have the money to do it. It shouldn't take a donor to do it.
Right.
But at least it's finally happening. So
Correct. Speaking, I'll get to that in a minute. Now, I do want to do a deep dive into this game we just witnessed yesterday. Now, we've watched a lot of games. We've seen this team grow. We've seen players disappear from the lineups. We've seen guys play 30-some minutes and end up with 3 points, having a triple single, etc. We've seen players who we felt like we could lean on disappear. We've seen guys who hadn't getting a lot of playing time show up when it's their opportunity. Billy Richmond has been a mainstay on this team the whole season. I do want to say a couple things, and I want to hear you guys' feedback. I know we talked, and anybody who watched the show religiously, you've heard Adam's comments in regards to the SEC tournament. We spoke about this last week. I asked last week. Adam says the tournament doesn't matter. Does the tournament matter more with Darius Acuff sitting out, being a 3 seed, having an opportunity to rest after you've just seen the Missouri game, or does it have the same effect for you, Adam?
SEC tournament still doesn't matter. I don't
Okay.
think you should go in and lose Friday. I think you play to win one game and then just kind of let whatever happen after that. Winning the SEC tournament may bump you to a 4 seed. At the same time, you're kind of locked in, I feel like, at the 5 seed. So it's just a matter of, do you want to do 4 versus 13 or do you want to do 5 versus 12? So I don't think that the SEC tournament matters to a team like Arkansas, but to Kentucky, to Georgia, to these other teams that are on the brink, on the bubble.
On the brink, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hell, let LSU go win the tournament. It be a, play
It matters to them.
Yeah, it matters to these teams. But Florida, Alabama, Arkansas, because here's the thing is, I believe no matter what, like if we win, we're playing Alabama game, our second game on Saturday, or whatever it is. So, you look at that as, hey, we want to get revenge, or do you look at that as, hey, we still need to rest and be ready for the NCAA tournament? I think that's the most important. The big picture here is the national title. So SEC tournament's nothing.
Gotcha. Go ahead, Hart.
I don't think it really matters. The only thing that it really could matter, like you said, would be the seeding. And the only way I see us moving up to a 4, definitely if we won the tournament. But maybe if we beat Alabama, it could push us to a 4 and drop them down to a 5, because they've been having us as a 5 with Vanderbilt and Tennessee. And I'm so tired of seeing us at the bottom of that damn list of 5s when we beat both of them. It's annoying to me. But as far as the tournament, I think Acuff will play. I think we're just resting him for that. And we should win Friday. It doesn't even matter really who we face. I think we should win. And then if we win Saturday, I think we could possibly move up to a 4 seed. But other than that, I'm just looking forward to some good basketball coming up this next month.
Yeah, speaking of good basketball, I know we're looking at the tournament standings and the bracket right here. At some point, Adam is going to roll some footage of the game, the Missouri game. And I want, it's something that I recognize in this game. And I don't think nobody will say it out loud, but I will. Here at Hog HQ, that's what we do. Is it possible that we watched the best game of the season yesterday? It's
yeah.
And this is the reason why I make this right. Darius Acuff didn't have to carry the team on his back. We wanted Trevor Brazile to have the game of his life versus Missouri. He did that. It became a lot about that initially. Nate said no, it was the best game of the season. Billy Richmond continued to do what he do. Malik stepping up, that was big. Ewan. See, this is the things that we talked about during the season. When we knew we had some dogs and we looked at these guys, there you go. This Ewan and Pringle recent success, like you have the faith in them to come to tournament time. This is what I'm talking about. Like, we figured at some point these guys will come along and they will contribute. To this day, I would love for both of those guys to go and watch some Jalen Williams tape. Just stand there and take the charge. It's the best thing you could do against a big who is overpowering you and out finessing you in regards to his work in the paint. But I digress. With that being said, I'm just excited that was the best game that I've seen them play without Acuff. To see these guys that we consider to be role players step up tremendously. The way Ewan shot the ball in the corner, he shot it as if he shoots his shot every day in practice. And I'm looking like, wait a minute, he can do that? Where has it been? You see what I'm saying? Like, that was intriguing to me. I love that. I love Trevor Brazile catching it high. I love Trevor Brazile damn near at the Missouri logo, shooting the 3. That's what we've been wanting to see all year long. Billy Richmond continues to be a mainstay. Malik had 2 shots, both of them on the baseline. He had this much room. The dude dribble one time and just let it release. His release is high and it's quick. It's very Reggie Miller / Steph Curry-ish in regards to it being a high, quick release, is what I'm saying. So it was outstanding to see those guys perform the way that they did, the way that they performed for Coach Cal. And let's not forget that was victory 900 for Coach Cal.
Mhm.
Amazing way to get him to 900. To know that forever in history, and people go back and look at Coach Calipari's records and look at his tenures, 900 is going to be huge in an Arkansas uniform with the pin on his lapel. Like, that is huge. I don't think people really understand what that means. But I was excited about those things. Any comments in regards to what we saw in this game, the guys that stepped up, and what it looks like going forward for the tournament?
Well, first, let's roll some beautiful bean footage of Malik Thomas. Because, I mean, leading the way with 20. This was his game with Acuff being out to time to shine, if you will. Didn't have to take the back seat, not that he does or whatever, but it was really his time. So I'm going to roll that right quick.
What time it is? Thomas is yet to miss. First three of the game for the Tigers. It comes from Mark Mitchell. Thomas, sometimes it's that easy.
Yeah, it really is.
Or that simple. Able to tiptoe the sideline, somehow stay in bounds. And pull the three. Thomas off go, no look delivery. Thomas, the hesitation. And a officiating crew and a block by Brazil. Richmond, Thomas. Good matchup here, Stone on Thomas. Thomas, light and quick, gets the roll. Thomas, the heat check.
That release is going to make him a lot of money in the future with as little defense is played in the NBA.
Let's talk about your former high school mate and my cousin, Isaiah Joe. Ability to get the shot off with pressure, high arcing shot. That's going to get you on a roster. That's going to maintain you a spot on the roster for years to come. And the thing that's interesting about Malik Thomas is we've watched him recently get his assist game up, get his rebound game up, know to add value when it comes to your draft stock. So it's outstanding to watch him grow right before our eyes. I do know on the last episode of Hog Talk, you and Porter kind of talked about what players return for next year. There was a conversation. Hey, you know, I know Malik is who he is, but I think he could benefit him by coming back another year. After I watched this game, and I know we're going to see what I'm saying? I don't know, but he ain't coming back, bro. Like, that's
let's see. I mean, Nick Pringle, 4 points in 16 minutes, which that's more than a lot of games. Trevor Brazil, I mean, we've been saying in the past couple shows, especially against the Mizzou, you know, your last game in Mizzou Arena, it's your team you transferred from. He hasn't had big games against him, whether it's been injury or whatever the case may be in years past. So it was good that he finally, you know, now granted he showed out against Texas with the career high at 28, but still coming in with 19 yesterday, 8 for 14, 2 for 4 from 3, no 3 bigger than that one in overtime.
Absolutely.
And that right there is just, you know, ice in your veins type shot. He had 10 rebounds, but they took one away from him, so he didn't get the double-double. Billy Richmond, you know, I questioned yesterday, does Billy have an issue scoring with Darius Acuff not on the floor? Because, you know, he had 10 points. He just kind of seemed a little bit off yesterday. Now, Grant, I mean, he was 4 for 7, so it's not like he was taking a lot of shots, but there wasn't somebody creating the space for him.
Correct.
But Malik Ewan coming up with 17. DJ Wagner is doing exactly what we need DJ Wagner to do when Darius Acuff is not on the floor. And this will be something that Arkansas is going to need in the NCAA tournament. And, you know, I full-heartedly believe DJ Wagner will come back for his senior season. I don't see him being a first or second round draft pick right now. Definitely not first round. I don't even think second round. I think it would take a ridiculous combine for him to get second round. I'm in this boat, and I talked about this on Hog Talk. If you were not a lottery pick, there is no point in you going into the NBA draft unless you're out of eligibility or you just truly don't want to play college ball anymore because you're going to make more money in college. Kind of like, Kentucky and their $22 million roster that didn't even get them 20 wins this season. Shout out to Dick Vitale for calling them out for that. So
most definitely.
But no, yesterday's game just showed that this team can do it without Darius Acuff. Obviously, you just have so much more levels added when you add him, because Missouri's not a slouch team.
Nope.
And you went into Missouri, you've struggled on the road all season, and you punched them in the mouth. And you could have just sat back and let whatever happen yesterday, but y'all chose to show up and show out.
Yeah. I heard somebody make the comment, Wagner looked like he's trying to be Acuff.
Hmm?
I said, here's the correction. When he got recruited out of high school, that's who they thought he was in the beginning. He just played up to his potential in his ranking. Like, people forgot exactly who he is and who his father is, and the potential of where they had this guy slated. He was potentially supposed to be slated as a one and done at Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
So let's not forget, this guy has had some injuries, some setbacks. I love it. I love it. I love it. The peep show. But Wagner has went through some trials and tribulations. I said all those things he's come across, being doubted. Is he as good as his father? Should he have stayed at Kentucky? Did he follow Coach Cal just for the name, the hope that he would get drafted high? All these things. I think he put that on his shoulder and put it on his back, and he showed us the other day exactly what he's capable of doing when he's required to do so. So I'm excited about what I saw in that particular game. Hart, you got anything before we move on? Basketball?
Yeah, I think he pretty much reminded us what he did last year, because last year he was carrying us. He was the one shooting clutch shots. And I mean, he's had 25 points this week, and that's probably the most he's had in a 2-game stretch in a while, if at all, this season. And we've had 3 guys flirt with 30 points this week. You had Brazil with 28, Acuff with 28, and you had Malik with 28. So, I mean, we got a lot of scoring. Our defense they're at least looking like they're trying a little harder with getting a little lower in their stance and getting their arms out and everything. So, and I do want to say Brazil also had a big steal at the end of the game too, when their point guard was driving up court. So I was happy to see him step up. He knows, time is real short for him right now. And so it's good to see that. It's good to see Malik Ewan finally come around in the last few weeks, flirting with double-double, scoring in double digits. Kind of being an inside scoring presence that we've lacked, that Brazil we hoped would be, but really isn't. Doing post moves basically. So if he can just step up his defense, it'd be great. And maybe him and Pringle are somewhat kind of being like Jonas Adu and elevating a little bit as the tournament comes. But Pringle, I mean, still a lot of meat left on the bone with him, but he has played a little bit better than he has for most of the season recently.
No doubt about it. Well said. Well said. Jerry with the comment here. If we make it to the Sweet 16, what number 1 do you want to play? Michigan, Duke, Arizona, or Florida?
Duke or Arizona?
Duke.
Arizona.
Because I think that number 1, Koa Pete versus Darius Acuff would be that would be one of the highest rated, most viewed games of the NCAA tournament. And also with Duke, I mean, if it wasn't for Cam Boozer hooking and staying in the paint the entire time, Arkansas would have won that game. So, give us a rematch. I don't care. I still think, though, that Arkansas is going to need, obviously, Darius Acuff to have a ridiculous NCAA tournament, but I do think it's going to take some luck. And it's one of those for a lot of teams throughout the years. Like you need some luck on your side. The NCAA, it's hard to win a national championship. The NCAA tournament is a difficult thing to win. So I feel like, take whatever handouts you can get. Let another team knock off one of these number 1s or whoever's standing in your way, or let somebody else knock off Florida. just so you don't have to worry about facing them again. Let somebody else knock off Duke or Arizona or Michigan or whoever. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Whatever gives you the easiest path, I'm all for it.
I say Duke. We got film on them. We've already played them. We kind of know what their style is. We really should have won the game. And it was earlier in the season when we were kind of filling everything out. And now we've got a little bit of momentum. We know who we are. I think we would have a better shot with them this time around.
Gotcha. Thank you guys for the commentary there. We're going to transition.
Well, before we do that real quick, let's touch on, I'm going to play this video. It's for Coach Cal's 900th win. So it's the celebration and then him post-game.
Don't do that, please.
If it meant anything, do you think Darius would have been playing today? I would have played him. That stuff, when you do this a long time, that's the kind of stuff that happens if parents entrust you with their child. And I've been blessed with that. My best players, you ready? All good guys. Never had one of my best players be a jerk. Not once. One, I wouldn't recruit them that way, but they have all been great guys. So I thank them all, wherever I've been, UMass, Memphis, Kentucky, now here. I've been coaching great kids and talented, like a bunch of NBA All-Stars, a couple MVPs in the NBA, defensive players of the year, rookies of the year. Well, then you're going to win a whole lot of games. So I've been blessed. And I've had great staffs, by the way. Chin did a great job defensively today because they're hard to guard and they play different and they post up and they do some stuff. And he did a great job, including in-game stuff.
The last time we played Missouri, their coach was really pushing for Chin Coleman to be a head coach. So I'd be interested to see if somebody does go after him in this offseason.
No, we'll get into this. Justin said NCAA tournament is like WWE Elimination Chamber. Yeah, ask Adam. He would know.
Yeah, I watched it a couple weeks ago. Last weekend.
All right. I do want to get. Hey, Chris, I'm gonna save this comment because it's a lot to get to, and then we're gonna get back into it. I won't forget about you. Jared, real quick. What do you think our biggest Achilles heel is coming to the tournament? I say depth, especially. We're still not having Knox, at least able body. I agree.
That, but I say just big depth at big, because if one guy gets in foul trouble, we're in trouble.
Correct.
I mean, all in all, it's the biggest Achilles heel is your depth. We looked at yesterday, once again, we had Nick Pringle and Billy Richmond both fell out. Mm-hmm. So, it's going to be tough when you're only running 7-8 guys. Seven most of the time, unless you're going to be throwing in Isaiah Sealy more. So I think that depth is going to be the biggest issue. And then that's 1A, 1B is going to be your bigs. Unless you can have Malik or one of them, which would probably be Malik, show up points-wise. But, it's one. If we need Pringle to go in to hammer some fools and get 5 fouls, so be it. If that's what you need to use them as, do it. I mean, 5 fouls in 16 minutes of play. That's all you got. I mean,
yeah.
He flirts with fouling out almost every game, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if he averages 3 to 4 fouls a game.
It wouldn't shock me at all. So I'm just ready for transfer portal time, and let's see if you can get some bigs that didn't come from crappy teams the season before.
Gotcha. Let's go get an elite big is what you're asking for.
Yep.
I watch your boy Diop. They ended up going to Colorado.
Job.
I watched him play. Yeah, mm-hmm. Doc. Yeah, I ended up watching him play that night. I was looking like, it would have been nice to have him. I mean, I see what he can do. The dude was shooting from the elbow. He was getting his own rebound. It was nasty work. I like what his game looked like. So it'd be interesting to see exactly who he goes and gets. What dude What dude told Nolan? Yeah, go get you some big men. No, he said go get some grown ass men.
Larry Johnson. Yep.
Larry Johnson.
Grandmama.
There you go. All right. Well, we can go ahead and transition into football. Talking about football, Silverfield and his staff. Of course, he had hired some guys. Said we'll be blown away about the staff. A lot of fans were not blown away, but apparently the personnel and the administration staff at certain NFL teams were blown away by these particular gentlemen that were on the staff and select them to be coaches within the NFL. That speaks volumes of the work that these guys put in prior to, and for Silverfield to have the type of relationship and bring them on this new staff at Arkansas. With that being said, some guys left out, some new guys were put in to replace those guys. You have some information on these guys that's coming up that are replacing him in football. Look, I'm going to continue, and I'm going to stand on this hill. I'm riding with Ryan Silverfield. I really feel like, and I don't think it's per se Ryan Silverfield by himself. I feel like we're just at an age of Razorback football to where all the things that we've been complaining, crying, hoping that would happen for years is finally all happening all at once. And why not us? Why not be all in on somebody who wants to be here, who understand what it is to recruit in the state of Arkansas and surrounding states with the blueprint, who has the mouthpiece that's willing to go out and talk to these donors and boosters to get the money to the program, talk to them directly, don't depend on the AD. This guy has been the only one, and I'm going to talk about this last show. He's the only one that has reached out to former players, asked them to come. He had Travis Swanson come speak to them about financial literacy, talked to Peyton Hillis on the show. What is that, Pig Trail Nation? Told him he wanted to come to 6 a.m. workouts. Also seen on Pig Trail Nation, shout out to them, got to give them credit. They had a wonderful interview with Coach Houston Nutt. And Houston Nutt said he has been, Silverfield is the only coach that came after him that actually reached out to him. Isn't this what you guys want? It doesn't matter what the name is, right? It doesn't matter what big name you wanted. We got who wanted to be here. And he's doing all the right things that we've said over time that should have been happening. We have an ambassador with the best known player in a Razorback uniform. That is finally happening. We finally have a guy that people can recognize and say, hey, that dude right there, when you see him, that's Arkansas. That's one of their best players. And shout out to Shoes Arkansas for making that happen and making him an ambassador. Bray Cook has now been brought in, homegrown guy as well. Now he's working with the high school relations. I mean, these are all the things that major programs have been doing for years around us, and we have not been doing because we have not had a coach who can think forward, who can have his own blueprint and thumbprint on a program and say, this is what we want. I understand the landscape of college football. And as he said, I'm all in. And whatever it takes to win, that's what we're going to do. We're not going to shy away from NIL. That's the part of the game. Transfer portal, that's the part of the game. I understand there's been a lack of urgency when it comes to in-state recruiting. I'm on that. I flipped some guys in 24 hours. Former players not being part of the program, it won't happen any longer. Let's do that. Like, these are the things that we've been needing to happen, and it's finally happening. I can't be mad at who we chose or who was chosen to take the job. I'm excited about what I'm seeing thus far. Adam, you do have a clip that I want to talk about. This young lady, and this is one of the things I've always watched. I watched like the year Michigan and Harbaugh won the national championship. He talked about doing the Navy SEAL workout, going out with the Navy SEALs, and I was like, why don't we do those things? Like, why don't we have like these major speakers come in? Like you guys seen clips where the magician comes in and and tell me your phone number when you was in the 7th grade, and then your jersey number. Oh, and then it turns up to be 5, and everybody. We never have those guys, or at least it's not posted. We're finally getting that. Now, if you can roll that clip of this young lady speaking real quick.
I've been doing this for 10 years. I've wanted to come to Arkansas for 10 years. And so it finally worked out underneath this coach and you being here. Years ago when I started doing this, I called myself a speaker. I am no longer a speaker. What I call myself now is a sacred space holder. And in the past 10 years, I spoke to 100 plus colleges. Colleges are where my heart, man, y'all are my heart. Here's what I said to them. I said, protect, provide, perform. That's what you've been taught your whole life. And I ain't trying to make you do anything besides that. Meaning, I want you to protect protect, provide, support. That is how your soul was created, right? As a man. Men and women are different. But what if I tell you, what if I told you today that there are other things that I want you to do? Other things that I want you to do. You know, in my travels and doing this 10 years, you know how many men that I talked to around the country said, ain't nobody ever taught me how to love myself. But I appreciate you opening your heart a millimeter to me today, opening your heart to let me teach you. Don't struggle alone, kings. Don't struggle alone. I love you guys. Thank you.
I want you guys to understand how huge that is. Let's be clear. Every man on this screen, every man watching, every man in the room with his wife watching, a woman has played a pivotal part in your life. Mother, grandmother, your girlfriend, siblings, etc. Like, and for these young men, we always talk about, oh, they do it for the money. Like, this is the thing where we go grassroots. We talk about things that really matter. We talk about things that develop into young men after football. She is she's a best-selling author for a Sacred Place Holder. It's the name of the book. She is considered to be a soul care speaker. She's a coach. She basically talks to these young men on a collegiate level and talks about knowing your self-worth, loving yourself, and mental health. We see so many situations where players get to the NFL and all of a sudden you hear, hey, this guy committed suicide. And you may say to yourself, how does somebody with that much success and that much money get himself in a situation to where he takes his own life? Right. Hashtag I'm changing the narrative. That's part of what she does. But this is key to give to these young men in their adolescent years. They're in a situation where you got access to so much money. You got access to the world is right in front of you at this particular point. And to keep those guys grounded, that is huge. To have a speaker like that come in and speak to those guys, not about the cars, not about the girls, not about the chains, but talk about loving yourself. Like, mental health is real. And that's one thing that, you know, us as being older men, we've had to learn over time. The fact they can learn it at this age in their career in a football setting is huge. So I'm thankful for what the staff and Coach Sidfield is putting together so these young men can be well-rounded overall besides on the football field.
100%. And, you know, one thing that we've talked about here on the show, when it comes to these athletes and the money that they're now having put in front of them, what happens after college? What happens after when and if you don't make it to the next level in the NFL or the NBA? How do you adjust? Did you get your degree? How are you going to go back to where you're from? Because I think we all know a lot of these athletes don't have the greatest upbringings, didn't have the greatest home life. What are you going to do if you have any of that money left over and you go back home? Right. I just think there's a lot that still needs to be addressed in the world of NIL and revenue sharing, that these younger athletes need help. They need coaching. They need speakers like this to come in. They need a coaching staff that can prepare them for life after sports.
Yeah, they need life skills. They're gonna have football skills. They need life skills afterwards. Like, and that's going to be key to making these guys productive in society. How they treat their girlfriends, their wives, what type of fathers they will be down the road. All these things matter. So I definitely was excited to see that, and looking forward to what more the staff is going to put in front of these guys. And I'm still watching those guys do their competition with the little team sports. So I think there's a lot going on in that building. And like I said, I'm excited about what Ryan Sidfield and his staff have been able to obtain. The guys seem very spirited in their approach. I do want to say this and let you guys wrap it up or talk through it. We cannot talk about today in football, not talk about the patch. The patch. Yeah. So this is my analogy on the patch. Yeah, pull it up. This is my analogy on the patch. It's not a patch. You know what that is? It's a name, it's a badge. You are an employee. You are an employee, just like the rest of us, how we clock in and have to wear a badge, etc. That's who you are at this point. You work with this company. you represent that company. That is a part of who you are on the field right now. I'm thankful to John Tyson and the organization for providing it. Of course, we know it goes across all the sports, but knowing that 90% will go to the athletes, huge, huge. Maybe Walmart will come on, maybe another huge sponsor will come on, and we just get what we've been waiting on forever. What we've been watching other teams do. Maybe we get it all. Who knows? Maybe it's our time. So I'm excited about that. Shout out to Tyson for doing what they're doing. Ty asked the run off Casey Dick. No, Casey Dick ran off himself. You can't talk bad to the university in the backyard that you played for and think that was just gonna slide and keep your job. Nah.
Yeah. But the thing package too is I know a lot of people want to know numbers, and this is something that going back to listen to Hunter Yurchek and when he was on Chuck and Bo, everybody's wanting to know a dollar amount, and they're not releasing that information. And at first, I was like, oh, I just feel like this is a cop out. But honestly, listening to Yurchek talk about it, I get it on why they don't want to release the blueprint. No pun intended to Blueprint Sports and the botched deal that they had produced. But they don't want to lay a blueprint for other teams. Do I think that this puts Arkansas ahead? Not necessarily.
No.
I think if anything, this brings Arkansas to where they needed to be, which right now still puts them behind because of those teams that already had it together still just continue to move forward. This is a move in the right direction. So I applaud that. We should be getting naming rights to the stadium announced, I think, here in the near future. Learfield is close to a deal with whoever it's going to be. Will it be Tyson? Will it be Walmart? Will it be? I think the biggest troll move would be for Saracen Casino to get the naming rights, but
right.
Who knows if that'll happen? But now things are moving in the right direction, and I think it. Obviously, it started with John Tyson bringing in Calipari. Then it continued when we finally cut ties with Sam Pittman. And then I'm not 100% all in, as Ryan Silverfield says. But at the same time, I'm excited and I'm curious to see the product that gets put out there. So we'll see what happens, come August, September. And the only reason I'm saying that I'm not going to give him or this team a grace period is for the fact that in his opening press conference, he said right now. So that's on him. And it's not that I'm going to be necessarily overly nitpicky. It'll just be the same. I'm just not going to give you that grace period. Oh, he's a first-year head coach. Nope. You said right now. So I'm going to hold them to that. But I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see also, what this can bring money-wise to these players.
There you go. Do want to get this. Ryan says, so what happens when we lose and everyone uses the excuse that we don't have the money? I guess the same thing that happens when you end up with a quarterback and a running back set records at the combine and you only won 2 games. Or maybe the fact that you had a coach and was considered the offensive line guru and none of your players that were that good offensive line got drafted high as they did when he was at Georgia. But I digress. Like, it's a lot of things that can happen, right? Also, have to sell the other sponsor, so keep a hush hush on both sponsors. Yeah, as for the bet, yeah, I look, everything ain't for us to know, and I'm okay with that. I just want to see a great product on the field. I want to see us progress annually. I want to see us catch up with the times of college football and be competitive every single Saturday. That's what I want. And then no matter how it looks and comes out record wise, I just want to see us advance and progress with the world of college football and be competitive. That's all that matters to me at this particular point. Hart, you got anything before we get ready to close up out of here, sir?
No, I'm looking forward to it. We got spring practice starting next weekend. I believe it's next Sunday, a week from tonight. They start practice, so I am looking forward to that. I agree with basically everything y'all have said. I really want to see what the defense looks like more than anything. That's what I want to see is the defense. I want to see how it look on that, and I'm kind of interested in what they do with the spring game, how they handle that whole situation because some of them have become somewhat of a mockery, and some of them aren't even games. So,
Right.
interested in see what they do with that.
I did see they did drop the that was just probably a couple hours ago, if that. They did drop the scheduling for their upcoming camps, prospect camps, specialist camps, big fella camp, all that good stuff. So it'd be interesting to see what twist they put, his staff puts on it that we've seen from the past. It'll be very intriguing to see how they pull out all the stops. The fact that you have, I think, 4 prospect days camps, you lining up recruits just to get on the campus. Then they get a chance to show their skill set. Now you get a chance to pick from the litter of who you really want and see what you have to offer. And of course, all that plays into what you look like on the field during the season. Is what they saw at the camp. Is that something that's obtainable? Does it look better throughout the season once you have a winning record within the SEC? All those things matter. So either way it go, I'm excited about that. Spring game. Yep, you asked about the spring game. There it is. Softball team is 21 and ranked number 9 softball team. Coach D.
I'm going to get into just while we're finishing up with football. This was the new special teams Coach Lunsford, and just kind of like his take on special teams and hopefully what to expect. And we'll do one final run through of the coaching staff salaries, who they are, before we get out of here.
So on offense, you got 3 to 4 plays to get a first down. Defense, you got 3 to 4 plays to stop a first down. Well, when you go play special teams, you got 1 play, and we like to say we got 1 shot, and we're going to make the most of that shot. We want to be our best. We want to be disciplined, and we want to be tough, and we want to attack on that play, and we don't want to leave anything to chance. We want to make sure we leave it all out there on that 1 play.
Go ahead.
Let's just take a look right quick. So obviously Ryan Silverfield coming from Memphis, going from $2.25 million up to $6.5 million. So that's quite a bit. GM came from Arizona, Crowley. Not sure on his salary. Director of Player Personnel, Scott Gasper, coming from Memphis. High school relations that we touched on earlier, Bray Cook. Offensive coordinator Tim Cramsey from Memphis. A lot of these guys are getting big jumps. He went from $475,000 to $1.4 million. Quarterbacks coach Mitch Stewart, again from Memphis. Let's see, running back David Johnson from Florida State. Wide receiver Larry Smith from Memphis. We kept Morgan Turner at tight ends coach. Offensive line coaches Marcus Johnson from Ohio State and Jeff Myers from Memphis. Defensive coordinator Ron Roberts, coming from the last stop at Florida. He's one that you're jumping from your last salary being $950,000. You jump up to $2 million. You better get your money's worth. Defensive run coordinator and defensive line Coach Cotton from Miami. Defensive line Landis Wilkerson from Tulane. We got CJ Wilford from Georgia State, Eddie Hicks, cornerback coach from Cincy, TJ Rushing, cornerback coach from Auburn, Darren Wilson, circling the block with Coach Wilson coming from Florida. Chad Lunsford, as y'all just saw previously at Auburn, and strength and conditioning, Noah Franklin, that came from Memphis. So as long as we're not hearing about 22-mile-an-hours and all the summer and fall camp hype, whatever else, I'm good with it. So we'll see how it goes.
Gotcha. Last tidbit on Lunsford, the special teams coach. Looking at some of his experience, this dude started off at Georgia Military as a student assistant in 1996. So how long this dude been coaching? All right. His first run on special teams, they came in 2007, 2008, Georgia Military. Then he went to Auburn as director of scouting and player personnel. He bounced around between Georgia Southern, coached some positions, Florida Atlantic, ended up going back to spinning the block to Auburn. I say all that to say this. Adam always says the special teams aren't special. I'm just saying that this guy, his backgrounds, Alabama, Georgia, Alabama and Georgia is enough to get you where you need to get. Also, he has relationships in Georgia with the high school coaches, so that's huge. Also looking at the kicker from Auburn, he had Auburn. Let me see, benefited the senior season. He made a career best. The kicker, he made a career best 20 field goals for Auburn. The Tigers were one of the best special teams units, allowing just 6 yards per punt return, which is fifth in the SEC, while ranking third in the league with 22.95 yards per kick return, including a kick return for a score. Either way it go, we have improved already. If you think about the games that were one-score games, and you tell me we're in a position with a coach that can think ahead and say, hey, we're kicking it with the guy who makes all the kicks, yeah, we win those games. This is a different scenario. So I'm excited about what this can look like, what this staff can collaborate and put together on the field, what the talent that is provided. Jelani Watkins, transfer from LSU, he just won another one. He just kicking ass in track and field. And I'm excited because I understand that they brought this guy in and they will have a package for him, some plays to utilize his skill set. Don't do it. Just to make sure that he's good to go and they can use him as a solidified weapon. So I'm exactly hammered down. Yeah, I'm excited about what this can look like. And we haven't talked about it yet, and I know it will come during spring. When was the last time we had a legitimate quarterback race? Competition. It makes it better. It makes it better. You got two guys who have not have a plethora of experience in the SEC. Both have big arms, athletic. KJ likes to operate from the pocket more. Of course, he's a lefty. Then you got AJ coming, big physical guy, can use his legs as well as his arm. We've seen it against us. Yeah. I don't know how much he can squat, but he can carry a 300-pound defensive line across the first down marker. Either way it go, I'm excited about what this looks like and what this could turn into to have a legitimate competition at quarterback. Anything else, guys?
Yeah, I got one more thing right quick.
The internet is an amazing place. Oh my God. Whoever gets this, find God. But this is absolutely hilarious.
Congratulations. Yeah. Congratulations. Congratulations to your team going to get Max Crosby, dude. The Bengals, you need to go get the best veteran left tackle. You better go get the best player graded at right tackle. You need help. The division is already rough as it is. Like everybody know, like the AFC North is like one of the hardest divisions, roughest divisions, no finesse, smash mouth type football. Max Crosby added to the. That's why I work. And before I close out on that, if you got the reference of the picture, yeah, go find God, as he said. See, Nate, you ain't got to do that. You ain't got to do that. Look, you know what it is. You know my boy got to go into the cocoon and think about it. You know what I'm saying? And figure out if he want to come back for another season and reunite with McCarthy. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know if we're going after Kyler Murray. I have no idea what the Steelers are doing. Like I said, this is all new for me. Unlike you guys, whoever your team is, we don't have to switch coach every 4 or 5 years.
True story.
As pro teams. Yeah, so I'm unfamiliar with this territory. I'm just going to sit back and wait to have both of my teams have new coaches. There's no stability in my life right now. So it's all good, and we're going to figure it out as we go, man. Y'all, Jesus. Nathan, I got a feeling you understood what that picture came from. Go ahead.
All I did was play a video. So
there you go. There you go. All it takes is one video.
Asking Kardashian. Yes.
There you go. There you go. The AFC North is the Royal Rumble. Yeah, absolutely. No, for real. It is. All right, guys. We have spent some time on here. We enjoyed every single one of you guys. I didn't forget. I just wanted to get to the end and get it. It's a lot. Yeah.
He laughed at Birmingham and Alabama going 15-15 every year, winning the Redneck Invitational, and then getting bounced by Mary and Joseph Junior College. He said nobody cares about the SEC tournament. it's about losing, not winning. Arkansas is a national program, not a redneck program. If you remember, we saved this conference. Kentucky sucked and was on probation. Nobody else in the SEC could spell SEC. We came in and made a standard nobody else in America could live up to. It's our conference.
There you go. Chris, I told you we weren't going to forget about you. This is what we do. If it's not for the people, then we don't do it at all. So we appreciate every single one of you guys. Love everyone who has hit the heart, the thumbs up, and the comment. We appreciate you guys for tapping in and being a part of the show tonight. Ecstatic about what next week can bring. More
Man,
NFL,
Selection Sunday, everything.
and look, all that good stuff. And I don't know what the weather is in Arkansas, but dude, it was cold as hell, and then all of a sudden it just got hot. I have no idea what's going on. Somebody in the office is pushing buttons. They playing with the weather again. I don't know. Either way it go, man.
Probably Vegas.
They probably Vegas.
You would know.
There you go. Thank you. Yeah, part-timer. They say Adam do graphics for Vegas. That's why he wins to pick them for 2 years in a row.
I mean,
but me and Hart digress. But look, we working on it. Don't worry about what we doing. Yeah. Anyhow, man.
You do you.
Like, subscribe, tell a friend. Nathan, thank you for those sentiments as we get up out of here, man. We appreciate every single one of you guys for showing up and showing love to us every single week. With that being said, we're out of here. Another great show, Hog HQ Live. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.